It's time to rank my top 10 horror movies of 2023. We got to get into this. Let's go. What's up, Scary Fam? We are back. I hope you're all having an awesome day. I'm having an awesome day. It feels great to be a horror fan. So, you all, right now, we will be ranking my top 10 horror films of 2023. Now, this was not easy. It actually surprised me, man. I kind of went off of, just the character development, the story, how invested I was, and like rewatch value and things like that. So, it was very actually complicated to rank these. Some of you all might like, my ranking. Some of you all might be disappointed. But this is just my opinion. But I definitely would like to know your guys', ranking down in the comments. And yeah, before we get started, definitely smash the like button because it definitely helps. And ring the notification bell so you'll be notified every time I drop another video like this. But let's get into it. Coming in at number 10. Now, I really did enjoy this movie and it made the top 10. The Boogeyman, you all. Yes, The Boogeyman. Now, this is one of those movies I actually had fun with. I enjoyed it in the theater. Big shout out to Sophia Thatcher, man. She did such a great job. She carried this film. She was a big part of why I was invested in this film. Such great acting. Her little sister was great. Their little story. And it kind of felt like Stranger Things, and that's my favorite TV show, so I think that's why I love it. Some people didn't enjoy this. I personally did. Very fun movie. And overall, it just had some excitement in it, and the jump scares were kind of cool. I liked the final act, and the creature felt like a Demogorgon. I know it just felt like Stranger Things. I had fun with it. Some of the elements that they incorporated in this to scare us was kind of like, but sometimes it got us, at least me. But I enjoyed it, so I'm real comfortable with this being at number 10. So The Boogeyman, big shout out to Sophia again. Great job with the acting. Now, coming in at number 9, Insidious The Red Door. So, Insidious The Red Door, I feel like it's the weaker one out of the Insidious franchise. I was very hyped up for this movie, and Patrick Wilson did an amazing job. Definitely love Patrick Wilson, and I loved him and Dalton's story, the modern day story with them and kind of connecting the old history. It was very cool, but it kind of felt a little repetitive from certain scenes that we've seen before. Nothing felt new. The lipstick demon was definitely creepy as hell, as usual. I know some people thought that, he didn't look too good. They didn't enjoy the character. They said he looked too burnt. Personally, with me, that made him look very scary. I like Dalton and his female friend's relationship. She was kind of funny. Dalton did a great job. And to kind of get into it a little bit more, I just felt that the story was cool, but I wasn't invested too much in the story, but it was a fun time in the theater with some of the, the callbacks to the other Insidious films and just the story being told. I think it was, cool overall, and I had fun with it, so that's all that matters. So number 9, Insidious The Red Door. Coming in at number 8. Now, I was really excited for this film. Coming in at number 8 is David Gordon Green's Exorcist Believer. Now, a lot of people gave this movie a hard time, said it was the worst horror film they've seen in a long time. I personally think people are just giving this movie a hard time because of David Gordon Green, because of the Halloween Ends, situation. I do not think this is the worst movie of all time, especially with movies like Jeepers Creepers Reborn out there. It's a Wonderful Knife. I just watched that. I really didn't enjoy that. But Exorcist Believer overall, I enjoyed myself. Very, interesting story. I loved Angela and Catherine. Those are the ones who carried this movie for me. They did a great job. Those younger females did a great job, being possessed and convincing us that they had the demon in them. Um, I think the reason we kind of give this movie a hard time is because we're so used to original Exorcist, and this felt like a different story, like it could almost be its own story without the Exorcist title. And honestly, I feel like if it had its own story and it was just this regular paranormal film, it would have felt a lot shorter. I think the title was what brought a lot of the notoriety in behind this film. But I feel once I got into the story and understood it a little more with the title, The Believer, it definitely makes sense because of Victor Fielding not believing in that religion and everything because of his wife and all the stuff he's been through when he was, younger. And in the end, it kind of came through and helped him. So it made him a believer, especially with Angela and stuff like that. And the final act was by far my favorite of this film. The final act was just Catherine and Angela with the tubular bells kicking up them, back to back. Very creepy. It did have some down moments in it, some questionable moments, like, them bringing Ellen Bernstein back and doing what they did to her. But it was very, it was interesting. I had a good time with it, but I did leave the theater a little bit disappointed. So coming in at number 8, The Exorcist Believer, and I cannot wait to see the rest of the film, see what the story does. I've heard people say maybe the first one was slow because it's a trilogy, but we shall see. Coming in at number 7, we have Evil Dead Rise. So Evil Dead Rise, guys, I had a great experience with this movie. I got invited to a premiere. I got to see this movie like a month early and got surprised by Bruce Campbell. Ash himself, kind of opened the movie for us, telling us what to expect, kind of. Big shout out to Bruce Campbell. But to get into this, Alyssa Sutherland's Ellie was just so creepy. She was scaring the shit out of me at sometimes, especially the peephole scene, her to open up now. Oh, I'm like, oh my fucking God, this is crazy. Mommy's with the maggots. I love the story, how we got introduced into the Necronomicon with these younger kids. And it was definitely a gore fest, but it was usually gore fest is just gore fest. There's no story really. It's just blood and guts. This one had a story. I think that's why I enjoy Evil Dead Rise. It had a story it was trying to tell, and it's just opening the door for, more movies in my opinion. But yes, Alyssa Sutherland did such a great job. She's top tier, when it comes to like actress that are portraying like scary characters and, things of that nature. I think she killed it. Alyssa Sutherland bodied that role. Her in the corner on the ceiling and just her laying in that bed with her sister. I'm like, oh yeah, this shit is scary as hell. So Evil Dead Rise coming in number 7. I feel like that's a good spot for it. It was a great experience, and I will watch it again. I think it will have great rewatch value. So yeah. Number 6, Saw X. Now this movie, I kind of knew what I was getting myself into because of the trailer. They kind of showed us that Tobin Bell was going to be dealing with these, crooked doctors, and they were going to kind of get over on him. We found out, with the cancer and stuff, they're going to be dealing with that. And we kind of also understand, like, oh, okay, you're dealing with Tobin Bell. You know what you're going to do if you fuck him over. You know what's going to happen. And once we see this story, it has so many twists and turns. It just caught me off guard. Yeah, it still has that formula of your ordinary Saw. Saws, in my opinion, are very repetitive, but this one, the reason I like it, probably like it the most out of the whole franchise, was because it was different. It took a lot of twists and turns, and you kind of started rooting for Tobin Bell. But I mean, we already do that because we're horror fans, right? But we started rooting for Tobin Bell. You wanted him to get out that situation, and he does get out of any and every situation. But just the end kind of almost had me like, man, oh shit, it might be over. But the ones that played the doctors, the crooks and everything, did a great job. Kind of made you feel like they were bad people. Shawnee Smith did a great job. Love seeing Shawnee Smith next to Tobin Bell. Overall, this film was very fun, and I love the twists and turns. And it got, another one coming right behind this next year, 2024. So that should tell you a lot. Doing great with that film. And as you've seen how it ended, we kind of know what's about to be going on with, Saw 11. But I enjoyed Saw 10. It was very much a great Saw film, and it was different from the others, in my opinion. So definitely. Number 5. Whew, this is crazy. We're getting down to the top 3. Number 5 is Megan. Now, this movie right here blew me away. I really genuinely love Megan. This is now one of my favorites. I know it's PG-13, but hey, who gives a fuck? Like, this movie is wow. I really enjoyed Megan. I know some people was like, I could do without it. I like it personally, top tier, and she's becoming like this thing in horror now. Big shout out to Amy Donald, performing well as Megan. I was one of those ones that was rooting for this movie the moment it got announced by Blumhouse. It just felt like something different. It was AI. I'm like, this is going to be cool. And it was like, hype was not around this movie. People just thought it was going to just be an average horror movie. But now there's some hype around it, probably because of social media and stuff like that. But I'm so ready for Megan 2.0. This movie was so cool. I love the scenes. Megan is such a creepy doll with a lot of life to her and a lot of personality. A lot of the scenes were very much funny and cheesy, but I was very creeped out when it came to Megan. Like the scene when she's in the owl dancing and she chases the guy down the hall and she's dancing. Everyone loves that part, but I really do think that was very cool. She's dancing, she's running after him, the guy's falling, scared for his life. And for this to be PG-13, it definitely had, a couple of cool, interesting kills. I loved how the ending was. Violet McGraw did a great job, and I just can't wait to see Megan 2.0. I hope she grows into being something big, like Dolly Dearest, your Chucky's and Annabelle's. I think she should definitely gain her way into that family after seeing Megan, 1, especially after 2.0. I'm pretty sure they're going to elevate this, this character and this doll. I can't wait to see what happens with the next story. But yes, Megan is coming in at number 5, you all. Number 4, The Nun 2. The Nun 2, if you follow the channel, I'm a big Conjuring Universe fan. I love Valak, Bonnie Aarons, very creepy villain. You gotta love Sister Irene in this, Stormy Reed, Valak, Bonnie Aarons. Valak was not playing in this one, man. She had a chip on her shoulder. She was touching people. She was tapping motherfuckers on the head the whole movie. Valak was tapping motherfuckers on the head the whole movie. She's like, you get a slap, you get a slap, you get a headbutt, and you get a fucking kick. And I loved it, man. The whole opening, she sets this motherfucker on fire. I'm like, this is what I'm talking about. I think people were talking shit about the Nun. One like, oh, she didn't do too much, and they just let loose in the Nun too. A lot of cool jump scares. The story with Sister Irene and Stormy Reed being a duo through this film was very much cool. I love the final act. The final act was crazy with that wolf thing that was running down the fucking stairs. I'm like, oh yeah, they're turning up with this. So The Nun 2 is definitely a film that I'll be watching a lot. Great adaptation to the Conjuring universe, and I cannot wait to see if they do some more of those. I want to say they're talking about the Conjuring 4, and we got confirmation with the Conjuring universe TV series. I cannot wait. They did such a great job with The Nun 2. It's definitely better than the first one for me, but coming in at number 4, The Nun 2. Coming in at number 3. Now, you all might be surprised with this one. Kind of like, man, what the hell are you doing, Brandon? But let me tell you. My number 3 is Scream 6. Let me tell you why Scream 6 is my number 3. I love Scream 6. I love the Carpenter sisters, Melissa Barrera, Jenna Ortega, the Core 4. The story was very cool. I loved Ghostface. Ghostface and the Carpenter sisters carried this film. That whole bodega scene. This film has one of the best openings in the Scream franchise with Samara Weaving. It was a lot of crazy kills, like the refrigerator kill, a lot of good one-liners. It was cool. I liked it. It definitely captured that Scream feel. I liked the new age look with all the multiple Ghostface masks. Everything was cool and executed right. It probably would have made it to the least top 2 if it wasn't for the final act. The final act, it was just underwhelming. It wasn't. I was like so hyped. Like, oh my god, this is crazy. You see Chad get stabbed up and everything. I'm like, oh, this is about to be crazy. This is about to be crazy. And then she did 2 Ghostface wipe at the same time, and we get the reveals with Ethan, Dermot, and Quinn. Ethan, I knew he was Ghostface by the middle of the movie. He was just overdoing it. Asking too many questions. It was obvious Ethan was the killer. There was points though I was kind of like, maybe I'm just too on it. Maybe I'm gonna get proved wrong. Quinn kind of caught me off guard. They were kind of labeling her like one of those in the beginning, but she popped out and she definitely, in my opinion, after reveals, Quinn was my favorite. And Dermot was just, I don't know. Dermot, it's like we had to have a head leader, right? That's how I seen, with Dermot Mulroney. But I liked Quinn. She definitely gave me like Geo vibes. And Ethan just felt like he was like a try-hard Stu Macher. That's my opinion, though. He was like a try-hard Stu Macher. And just the reveal was just like, okay. It ain't the, but all right, okay, I'm gonna just take it. That's how I felt. I was more excited seeing Jenna Ortega and Melissa Barrera as a duo, going up against these Ghostface. And even in the final act, my favorite scene was probably Melissa Barrera stabbing out Dermont all them times, for the bullshit he did. That was my favorite, just seeing Sam go crazy with the Ghostface costume on. That's why I was like, man, Sam needs to be a Ghostface. But yeah, it was kind of the final act, the reason it kind of dropped down to, the spot of 3. But I mean, I remember coming out the theater thinking, okay, Scream 6 is probably going to be my next favorite next to the original. I think I was just on a Scream high coming out the theater. I don't know about that. Cause yeah, I don't know about that, but it is a good Scream. It's not the worst for sure. Carpenter sisters did a great job. That's why I love it even more now after the situation we got with Melissa Barrera, Jenna Ortega leaving. It's going to be a special movie. You got to go back and watch when you want to see them in full effect. The Carpenter sisters. That's why it's a very special movie now. But yeah, coming in at number 3, Scream 6. Now, this is going to be crazy. Number 2, coming in at number 2, it's Eli Roth's Thanksgiving. Now, this film right here blew me away. It blew me away. Great slasher film. A Thanksgiving. When I first seen the trailer, I'm like, they're making a Thanksgiving slasher. What the Eli Roth? Okay, this is interesting. I really enjoyed this film. The opening is one of the best openings in horror, if you ask me. John Carver, he's definitely walking up that ladder with the slashers. He's doing a great job so far. And the reason I'm saying doing is because we got a number 2 confirmed. I'm going to see that. I cannot wait. But the characters were cheesy. They had corny dialogue, but it fit for this film. This film had Eli Roth's Scream written all over. I think this was his version of a Scream movie. This is his version of a Scream movie. He did a great job. John Carver had some cool kills, especially when he glazed up the female and, try to cook her ass like a turkey. The chase scene with the main final girl, I want to say her name was Jess or Jessica. The Scoob character, he was cheesy, but I think his name was Scooby. He was funny, but he was a little cheesy. The characters, the main characters were cool. I liked how he was picking them off, how he had the table set up. And big shout out to Patrick Dempsey, man. Did a great job in this film. John Carver, that look is very interesting. His mannerisms, the way he has the pilgrim mask, kind of makes me think of Michael and Ghostface from certain angles. But yeah, I really enjoy Eli Roth's Thanksgiving. I cannot wait for Thanksgiving 2. Such a great film. I had fun with this, cracking up in the theaters. A lot of cheesiness, but it was done well, not overdid. And it's definitely going to be a film I watch every year. And a big part of me loving this film, because we already don't have any Thanksgiving, slasher films. And this one is doing something new and different. I'm enjoying it. So, definitely. Now, my number 1, guys. It was so hard. Just, well, my top 3 was very hard. Because I'm like, man, these are great films. And this one right here, I was just so undecided through these last few months. Like, bro, that... is this my number 1? I talk about this film a lot, but I was like, maybe I'm just tripping. I'm on a high with this film, but I decided, hey, you loved this film. You had a great time. This is your number 1. My number 1 is Talk to Me. Now, let me tell you, I had such a good time with Talk to Me. I was not expecting this. Done by Rocka, man, content creators like myself, and this film just blew me away. Australian horror film. Just the whole concept with the hand, the story, the history behind it, just the whole ritual thing, and the characters. I was invested from the beginning. The ending makes this film, come so full circle. It is crazy. Like that scene where they're all, jacking around with the hand and not listening to the rules, and you see what happens to that guy, that kid, the little brother. It's just like, it was crazy. Then the ending was so twisted, and it kind of opened up, for the second one that we got confirmed, Talk to Me Too, which I cannot wait for that. It was just crazy. I liked a lot of the scenes were very creepy. I was getting, creeped out in certain scenes, and just that ending, I wasn't expecting it really. They did a great ending. That was so fluid and connected to the story. I'm like, wow, well written. Character development is out of this world. And I feel like when you sit here and look at Talk to Me, it's just a good time. The opening, That opening was so crazy. You're invested from the opening. And you know that the part you just looking at, and it kicks up the story. And then I loved how the dead, the dead ones looked on the other side. They looked real, like people were drooping and shit, like they were moist. Their hands were all like they were buried for 50 years. It was scary as hell. And when I left out the theater, I felt like refreshed because it was something I've never seen before. I felt refreshed, and it just was something new, and I really enjoyed it. 10 out of 10 for me, this film. And when I was out of the theater, I was like on this high. I was already looking for the hand. I'm like, I need that hand. By the way, I ordered that hand from the A24 shop because I'm like, I need that hand. As soon as they come out with that hand, I need it. And it's now one of my favorite horror films. Talk to Me, done by Raka Raka. It is such a great film. Now, I got a couple honorable mentions that I want to talk about. So, 10 and Tina, honorable mention. This movie is on Netflix. I didn't know what the hell I was getting into. It's about these two twin siblings that are very much obsessed with their religion, and they get adopted, and they're trying to force their religion on their parents, and it just goes overboard. They are creepy. These siblings are very creepy, and they're twins, and they're very devilish, if that makes sense. And a lot of stuff they do are very unsettling. I cannot believe they put some of these scenes in this movie, very uncomfortable scenes, but it creeped me the hell out. I was watching this movie and I was like, wow, this shit is creepy as hell. Like, it is very creepy, y'all. Like, if you haven't seen 10 and Tina, definitely check it out. And it's like no twin sibling is scarier than the other one. They're both equally scary. Good, a good story, something very different. Probably take you a little while to get invested, but once it kicks up, bro. This film is out of this world crazy. So, yeah, that's an honorable mention. Another one is Cobweb. Definitely enjoyed Cobweb. The ending just kind of fell short for me. Definitely captured that Halloween feeling with all the pumpkins. The reveal was crazy. It was a fun movie. It's something I'll definitely watch, with the Halloween feel and the story. But I feel like the ending should have just been something different. That's just my opinion. It kind of fell short. But overall, it was a good film. Very solid to the horror film world. And to get into it, another honorable mention is No One Will Save You. This is an alien invasion movie. I really did enjoy this movie a lot. Kind of gave me a little bit of Stranger Things vibes in certain angles. Love the main character, the female that we're following. I didn't like that the dialogue was, not too much dialogue. This movie had to figure out a lot of things by just watching it. And it was like, okay, but that's the thing, though. I think this movie was made for that, to kind of try to figure out watching it, so it can scare you, because the aliens looked real as hell. I think that's how aliens probably really look, But it really was creepy. A lot of the scenes when they're searching for the female, I'm like, oh my god, this is so creepy. But No One Will Save You definitely was very interesting. It had me, invested in it, and I had fun with it. So those are my honorable mentions, and that is my top 10 for 2023, guys. But that's not the end, because I want to know what's your top 10 2023 movies, and we're going to be scheduling a stream to get more in detail with your opinions on these films in your top 10, and it will be scheduled. I want to see you guys at that stream while we close out the year of 2023, and yeah, so be looking out for that stream. But unfortunately, this is the end of this video. I want you guys to hit me up on my social medias at ILIKESCARY on Instagram, ILIKESCARY_ on TikTok, Brandon on Facebook, ILIKESCARY on Twitter, and yeah, you are right there where it says subscribe. Next to it, click join and become a member of the channel. I want you all to watch some horror movies. Stay scary out there. I love you all. Peace. Until next time.